Angry Guy here, and today we're discussing why women are suffering as men refuse to marry or date them. Women are suffering as men refuse to marry or date them. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the article. This is actually pretty darn interesting, guys. So, as you can see here, a report finds decline in the well being of American millennial women when compared to previous generations. This is actually significant for a number of reasons, quite a few reasons. It's actually illustrating that for the first time in history, in modern history, the lifespan is actually decreasing of young women, specifically millennial women. And these are women who are now in their 40s as well. So they're not that young at all. So, report finds decline in the well being of American millennial women when compared to previous generation. A recent report by the Population Reference Bureau found that young women in the United States are experiencing a decline in well-being when compared to the previous generation. The report, titled Losing More Ground, Revisiting Young Women's Well-Being Across Generations, expanded on research from 2017 that found that social progress for millennial women was stalling in comparison to Gen X. According to the report's metrics for social well-being, millennials born between 1981 and 1999 have seen, and those years are absolutely wrong, guys. They definitely keep on moving the light post. It was at one, it used to be 1981 to 1996. Now they've moved it to 1999, and just keep, guys, this is absolutely insane. Everyone's playing with these numbers. Anyway, they've seen a 6% decline in overall well-being in comparison to their parents in Generation X, born between 1965 and 1980. In 2017, the decline had only been 1%, demonstrating the devastating impact of the events of 2020 on young people. The PRB used a series of metrics to rate well-being using Gen X as a base of 100 points. So they're doing worse than Gen X. So they're doing worse than the boomers. They're doing absolutely terrible. And there are increased rates them deleting themselves as well as of them being deleted. It's actually unbelievable. There has been a rapid increase in the deletion rates for young women in recent years. When Gen X was aged 25 through 34, deletion rates for women were at a low of 4.4 out of every 100,000 people. Now, by 2017, the figure for millennial women had risen to 6.3. And then by 2003, that number now stands at 7 per 100,000. And this rise in deletion rates is connected to socioeconomic factors such as high rates of loneliness, depression, and stress. The report notes that two-thirds of young women are also reporting that they feel overwhelmed with stress most days, and overturning the constitutional right to have access to delete one's delete a pregnancy by the Supreme Court has also played a role in this, they're claiming. And nearly 20% of postnatal and maternal deletions are attributed to women who are self-deleting. Self-deletion rates for white women declined somewhat between 2018 and 2021 from 9.5 per 100,000 to 8.5. However, meanwhile, the rate for non-white populations has risen by similar amount. So that's actually pretty profound. Among Black women, they saw a very large increase from 4.9 to 5.7%. Hispanic women, a massive increase from 5.1 to 5.4. These are actually large numbers when you're thinking in terms of 100,000 people. And people who reported multiple races from 5.8 to 6.4. This is large. By far, the most affected group were Native Americans. This is actually frightening, guys. These numbers are unbelievable. Native American women, they had the highest rates, which were 23 to 26.9 per 100,000. Guys, keep in mind, like I said earlier, for white women, it was 9.5. For Black women, they saw an increase from 4.6. These are the increases. But for Native American women, they saw an increase to 26.9%. Jesus help us. All right. Millennial women are not just, deleting and at increased rates. They're also being deleted at increased rates substantially. And unlike self deletions, uh, them being deleted, the rates of them being deleted was declining in 2017, but then it saw a significant increase after the events of 2020, and as rates of DV increased. I mean, guys, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. If you guys see this also here, it's not just rates of deletion. Here's another article. This is from November 30th, 2023. Gen Z millennial women face historic headwinds when it comes to their health. So the health of millennial and Gen Z women is sliding, has gone backwards significantly. Progress in women's health since the 1960s is backsliding, with millennial and Gen Z women facing heightened risk to their physical well-being and safety compared to their moms and grandmothers, according to a report released on Thursday by the Population Reference Bureau. The analysis, which looked at how women in their 20s and early 30s fared across generations, found that women born after 1981 are more likely to be at risk of self-deletion, deletion after giving birth, and of being deleted than other young women of previous generations. And millennials aren't even that young anymore. All right, the oldest of the millennials are now 42 years old, bro. I mean, when they're 50, are they still going to call these people young when they hit 50? The findings come even as younger generations of women are also more likely to have access to better education opportunities and higher pay than their parents, according to the report. Guys, it's a breakdown in the family, it's a breakdown in the structure. Young women today are obtaining college degrees and entering the workforce in record numbers to achieve their generation's version of the American dream. But structural barriers to health and safety are preventing many of them from reaching their full potential, said Diana Elliott, Vice President for U.S. programs at the Population Reference Bureau. Now, guys, they're just using this for cover. Women have never had it better in at any other time in the world. They have everything. They're bailed out of every bad decision that they make. There's many different social nets for them. All they're really pushing for is a universal basic income right now. I like what Candace Owens said. She said it's not going to be more than a couple $100. She's not really wrong. She is not really wrong. Andrew Yang is out there saying the ghost of Andrew Yang. He's still haunting American society with his $1,000 a month UBI, and a lot of women would just end up trying to live off that. Guys, the loss of the man in the home, the loss of the family, that is what's costing women a lot. They thought they were going to go out and have this great grand adventure, but they didn't realize that someone would have to pay for it at the end. Now they're going to have to pay for it. And the more women try to, say, okay, well, we want more. If you go after men, because men pay the majority of all taxes in Western society, if the government starts trying to extract more money out of men, men will just work less or stop working entirely. All right, millions of men have already dropped out of the workforce, and they continue dropping out of the workforce at rapid rates, and they're making just enough to take care of themselves, and that's it. And that's plenty. That's plenty. You've got guys with $10,000, $20,000, over $100,000 a year that make $50,000 a year. So a lot of these guys make more than that. But it's just an example. Some guys don't even make that though. Some guys might make only $20,000 a year, or $17,000 a year. But what you don't know is that they're collecting Medicaid. What you don't know is that they're collecting food stamps. What you don't know is that they're getting all these social benefits and all these nets. So all of the money that they're actually making, they're putting into their pocket. And then they're also making money on the side that you may not know about. So they're so they're working next to nothing. They're working very little or not at all. A lot of these guys have investments in crypto, so they're getting money off that. There's also a lot of dudes who are getting dividends. There's just so many things happening in the background, and because these men don't have families, they don't have women in their lives, all of that money is going in the bank because the needs of a man are very, very small. Very, very small, I just picked up a new MacBook for myself, and yeah, so what? That's basically it. And I don't really need anything else as a man. I've got my phones, I have an I have an iPhone and I have two Android phones, and they're all paid for, and my phone bill is literally $20 a month. You know, and it's ridiculous. It's literally ridiculous, and it just illustrates that as a man we can live very very cheap. Someone was saying to me in the comments that they know that he knows two guys that they bought a camper together. They live in the camper, stash away all of their cash, and they shower at the gym. They go to the gym, work out at the gym, shower at the gym, and that's how they live cheap in their camper. They live literally, do not pay any rent. They live very cheap in their camper. I had a guy who's a janitor just leave me a message in one of my just in the comments on one of my videos, and he said I make $72,000 a year as a janitor. 72,000 as a janitor. Guys, women don't know what they've lost. They don't know what they've lost. And guys, the herbivore men in Japan are not messing around. In Japan, poverty and other issues are driving more young women to working as ladies of the night, or evening delights, as Mayumi calls them. Evening delights. Oh my gosh. She called them evening delights. I think there was like another name, horizontal slides. My goodness gracious. Nonprofit organizations are trying to help these women, many of whom are teenagers. Authorities are showing little support for them. Oh my gosh. By the way, guys, so I just purchased my new back, and I literally put a case and a screen protector on it. Like, I am so different from the rest of y'all walking around with your phones uncovered and unclothed. Like that's so like A man grabbed my arm and took me to and we went to a hotel. He started filming, and I was not very pleased. I left before certain things happened. But a lost gaze adorned in a pink miniskirt sparkling with diamonds while perched on high heels, the teenager hesitated to enter the police station. Frail and barely 18, she is one of hundreds of teenage girls and young women who turn to being evening delights in the red light district of the Japanese capital to pay off a debt, make ends meet, or simply survive. Their presence has grown since the events of 2020, during which many lost their jobs or suffered, problems at home. DV lining up in the alley between the white facade of Okubo Hospital and the gates of the park of the same name. The young women wait for the Kimoi uncles, their clients, who pay between 5,000 and 20,000 yen, around $30 to $120 for an hour of paid making whoopee in one of the nearby love hotels. So paid love making in one of the nearby hotels. $30. Well, this is 30 pounds, but yeah, it's pretty bad. It's not that much. Alexa, what's 5,000 yen converted to United States dollars?
5,000 Japanese yen is about $34 and 78 cents.
Bro, $34. Alexa, what's 20,000 yen converted to USD?
20,000 Japanese yen is about $139 and 7 cents.
So guys, these guys are paying as little as $30 for an hour, and at maximum, not even $140. Bro, this is insane. This is insane. And these are young women, guys. These are young women. After 10 p.m., some head for the theme bars dressed as a nurse, Lolita, or Soubrette. These girls usually live in cyber cafes in the heart of Kabukicho at 4,600 yen, $28 a night for a single cabin. And DV is on the rise. Police took 35 of these young women into custody in September, 80 since the beginning of the year, compared with 51 in 2022. Of the 35 taken into custody, 15 were in debt to host young men working in women-only clubs, dressed in costumes with makeup and grooming. They go after the people that they're looking for, typically solitary women, often from provincial areas. Online, charm them, and then lure them to their clubs. They end up spending crazy amounts of money, up to $200,000 a night. Guys, this is so insane. The hosts use mind control tactics. They are literally trained by the club management to do this. Men, I'm telling you, without men, this is the reality for women. Women think that they are powerful, that they're unstoppable, that that nothing can bring them down, and they don't realize that God is in control of this world. And the order is the man, God is under the man. The man is under God, correction. The man is under God. So think of God as an umbrella, and God is covering man, and man is covering woman. This is the order of operations. This is how God structured it. God is our protector. Man is the protector of woman. When women cast men away, they are left to the mercy of the world. Men are built to suffer. This is the reason why we suffer. We go out there and we have to put up with everything in the world, and no one cares about us, no one other than God. Women, on the other hand, they have everything handed to them. But that is because the protections of men who have built everything around us. But when men walk away from Western society, they can screech, they can holler, they can say whatever they want, they can shame men, they can try to do everything. It won't matter because men won't look back. And if men can't leave, men will just stop. Men will just basically create new spaces and isolate themselves away more and more. And you can see it. Women are suffering as men refuse to marry or date them. I want to know what you guys think in the comments regarding everything we discussed here today. Your thoughts on this. Let's talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.